Hey there and welcome. Today we're going to dive into what is probably the most overlooked part of the entire U.S. Bill of Rights. We're going to explore its pretty dramatic origins, its surprisingly quiet history, and, what it really means for all of us today.
So let me just start by asking you a question. If you had to name the most obscure, the least talked about amendment in the Bill of Rights, which one would you pick? I mean, a few might come to mind, but there's one that almost always takes the prize for being forgotten.
Yep, it's often called the Forgotten or Sleepy Amendment, the third. It's the one that deals with soldiers staying in private homes. And, it immediately raises the question, in a world where this isn't really a problem, why does this amendment even exist? And why should we care?
To really get it, we have to go back in time, way back, to a period before the United States was even a country, when colonists felt that the king wasn't just ruling from across an ocean. It felt like he was setting up shop right in their living rooms.
The reason for this feeling was a series of British laws known as the Quartering Acts. And get this, these acts legally required American colonists to open their homes, their private spaces, to house and feed British soldiers. Just imagine that for a second.
This was so much more than an inconvenience. It was seen as a fundamental violation. This was the government literally forcing its way into your house, eating your food, sleeping in your beds. It was a complete breakdown of that boundary between your private life and the power of the state.
This whole experience was so infuriating, so deeply offensive to the colonists, that when they finally got the chance to write their own rules, you better believe they drew a hard line in the sand to make sure it could never happen again.
And they did exactly that in 1791 when the Bill of Rights was officially ratified. They embedded this protection right into the DNA of the new nation's laws as the Third Amendment to the Constitution.
So here's the exact text. It's short, it's direct, and it's incredibly powerful. You can feel how every single word is a direct response to the abuses the colonists had endured, and it creates a very, very clear distinction.
Okay, so the crucial point here is that the amendment sets up two very clear, separate rules. In peacetime, the line is absolute. The government cannot force soldiers into your home without your permission. Full stop. In wartime, it's a bit different, but still very restricted. The government might be able to quarter soldiers, but only if a specific law is passed by Congress that lays out all the rules.
Now, having established that really firm line, you might be surprised to learn about the Third Amendment's legal history. Or maybe I should say, its lack of one.
The Third Amendment is famously the least litigated part of the Constitution. I mean, it has almost never been the central issue in a Supreme Court case. For over 200 years, it's just been sitting there, quietly.
And this, of course, brings us right back to our main question. If this amendment is just collecting dust, if it's never really been used in a major court battle, what is the point? Why does it matter at all?
Well, here's the twist. Its obscurity isn't a sign of it being irrelevant. It's actually a sign of its profound success. The principle it established was so clear, the line it drew was so unambiguous, that the U.S. government has pretty much never even attempted to cross it. Its silence is its victory.
And that brings us to the amendment's true power today, because its importance isn't about redcoats in your guest room. It's about a much bigger, more timeless idea. It's about so much more than just soldiers.
The true value of the Third Amendment isn't found in old court cases. It's found in the fundamental principle that it protects.
At its very core, the Third Amendment is a cornerstone for our right to privacy. It is one of the clearest statements in the Constitution that limits government intrusion into our lives. It declares that our homes are special, almost sacred places, and it helps define the absolute limits of government power.
Ultimately, it codifies that old saying, your home is your castle. And the Third Amendment is the constitutional blueprint for the walls of that castle, designed to protect you and your private life from being overrun by the state. And that leaves us with a final, crucial question for our own time. The founders were concerned with the physical invasion of their homes. Today, we face digital intrusions into our data, our devices, our online lives. So the Third Amendment reminds us to keep asking, where is that line today, and what serves as the wall protecting our private digital castles?